I've got the spores, the sickness. There's the twins in my brain.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Domestique Cycling Podcast, where today I am joined by domestic data guru, Dieter Loos. How are you, Dieter?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. We have a lot to go through in this episode, where it's going to be specifically reviewing the Vuelta Espana. Let's get straight into it. I mean, let's start off with the start of the third week. We had the Ben O'Connor magic. I'd say magic, would you say?
Yeah, that was one of the most magic moments of his career, I bet. Also, do some luck. Let's be fair, but definitely one of the, if not the most beautiful moment of his career.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a lot of ifs and buts with Ben O'Connor, I think, as well. And to finish second as well is even better for him, isn't it, as well? But let's go back to the start again. How did he actually get into that red jersey in the first place?
He had the balls to go in the early break in stage, in the beginning 4 or 5 or something, I think. Yeah, I said it's luck, but it's also to have the balls. Like, you need to have big balls to go in a break and risk it all there, because there's also a chance that you lose 10 minutes if you're completely empty after going into the break. So yeah, props to him. Worked out pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, did you at one point during that third week think you could possibly maybe do it? I didn't think at all, really, so let's be honest.
No, I was losing time, and like, he's also really not consistent. He's better in higher KJ stages, but sometimes in a high KJ stage where there's been a lot of energy spent, he's also bad at the end, and sometimes he's good at the end of an easy stage. So you really just don't know it with Ben O'Connor, but I always had the feeling that he was going to be losing a lot of time, and I think to be finishing second, that's more than the best outcome possible, because normally if he doesn't gain those, 6 minutes, he finishes 9th in GC, so that's almost nothing. Now he finishes on podium, so that's a huge difference.
Yeah, and let's see what he can do next year when he kicks on at Jaco Aludo, isn't it, with his transfer?
Yeah, Jaco Aludo I really like that team. I think they get a lot out of their riders, so let's see how he evolves there.
Yeah, we're going to now go and talk about the winner of the Vuelta and how he did it as well. Primoz Roglic. I think the level that he was at there was pretty insane, let's be honest. I think he was just a cut above the rest, and even he had sickness in the end time trial, didn't he, Dieter? If you want to talk about that.
Yeah, that's first about the level. The numbers, watt per kilo calculators were suggesting that it was his highest level ever, and that was confirmed by his coach, Mark Lamberts. And then to know that he was sick in the final time trial. He had the shits like about everyone in the Red Bull team, and to still finish second in that time trial, he probably had nothing in him, like end of a third week of Grand Tour, so you need to eat a lot to eat that energy that you have been spending in stages. And if you are sick and you can't refill that energy to still be performing, that's really insane. Same with Florian Lipowitz, was even sick on Saturday already, and he also did a pretty nice TT if you take that into account.
In your opinion, if Primoz had that form in the Tour de France that he showed in the Vuelta at the end there, what do you think he could have done?
In Tour?
Yes.
No podium, fourth at best. The level Remco showed was a level that Roglic never has been close to in his career. So that's still another level. It is super nice what he's doing here with podium on the Tour. That needs to happen with a lot of luck in the future.
In my opinion, I believe it is the last chance next year. Otherwise,
it depends who is going to the Tour. If you have Pogacar, Vingegaard, and Evenepoel, and they are all at their level, it's not happening.
But yeah, let's go back to the Vuelta again. Also in that third week, we did have some magic from Wout van Aert didn't we, as well? We seen him doing his Swiss Army knife, I'd say. That's what I call him, the Swiss Army knife, doing a bit of everything. But yeah, and then the
Yeah,
unfortunate crash, which took him out, which was a horrific crash, I'd say, as well, wasn't it?
I was pretty unlucky because he was handling the
Yeah.
bike better than Engelhard, to be honest. But because he was going down later than Engelhard, he crashed into the rock wall. So it's unfortunate if he crashed earlier, like Engelhard, nothing would have
Mm.
happened. But because he almost managed to stay upright, he hurt his knee bad to that rock wall. So that's very unfortunate. I was expecting a lot of him at Zurich, the World Championships.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's now all gone. So phew, my advice would be for Wout to recover well firstly, of course, but then do a lot of cross racing this winter because that's what he likes. And I think maybe he can refine the joy in cycling there. Because yeah, I have a feeling that's pretty much gone after what he went through this year.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's horrible what he had to go through this year.
Yeah, it's just I've never really seen that. Really, just some guy with all that bad luck. It's crazy, isn't it? But yeah, let's go back to his form. What do you think of his form before he crashed out? Because it was insane, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, obviously it's insane form.
Yeah,
Was a good chance that he would take home both the com and the sprints jersey, and then nice 3 weeks until the World Championships. A nice super compensation. Also have European Championships here in Limburg. Um, yeah, you had the World Championships gravel coming. A lot of nice goals, and yeah, that's all down the drain. So that's a big pity for him.
yeah. Let's hope he recovers well. And it's
Yeah,
just sad, really, isn't it? As especially as a fan of him, a big fan of him, you just don't never want to see your favorite rider really do that, do you?
exactly.
But yeah, another guy who was in an absolutely insane form and also literally, I don't know what he's like, just a crazy frog, I'd say, like that. Marc Soler, 1,000 kilometers in the break, and also a victory. What did you make of his performances? Flipping now, that guy's
Yeah,
just
it's
madness.
Marc Soler in Spain is something different than Marc Soler in the Tour de France, for
Yeah,
example. Yeah, his Grinta is amazing. Like getting dropped at the bottom of the climb, then attacking 87 times and still winning the stage against someone the level of Max Poel, who is not riding um, slowly or anything. He's a very good rider. So yeah, I love to see Max Soler race. It's an amazing guy.
yeah, he'd be going, oh, like I'm basically fucked, basically. Let's be honest here. And all of a sudden he'd come back and just literally go crazy and attack. He's a massive
Yeah,
enigma, and that just confuses me.
yeah, it's amazing to see him race. Yeah, it's an
He's got
amazing
the
guy.
official dog in him, I'd say, really. But yeah, and then we're going to go on to some magic now, I'd say. Fairy tale magic with the home team, the wild card, Kern Farmer, with Berardi, Castrillo, and Miguel. What are your thoughts on them? Because I know Castrillo, you really love him, don't you?
Yeah, and same for Berhade, to be honest.
Yeah,
And I mean, like a lot of people are now acting like this is coming out of nowhere. Like they were shit riders before, and suddenly they are insane riders in the tour. But I've been following Castrillo and Berardi pretty closely for some time now, and like I had Berardi in my fantasy team for the Vuelta, and Castrillo was doing insane performances in San Sebastian, Classica Jaén, races where the level was really high. So it's not like this is coming out of nowhere because I'm also already seeing like, yeah, this is not normal how they step up here. They have to be doping, etc. Like let's believe in the good in people and not call everyone out for doping the moment
mm,
they perform well. Let's just enjoy what they are doing as a wild card team, like you say, and let's just enjoy those amazing performances and not accuse anyone of anything.
no, but I'd say it was fairy tale stuff, really. But people
Yeah,
obviously didn't accuse, aren't they, because of cycling's past reputation. But yeah, Castrillo, the climbing performance that he was putting in is insane, isn't it, for his victories?
yes, he has got some grit, maybe even more than Marc Soler. He was in the first stage he won. He was already suffering like crazy, like 10 kilometers from the finish. And then I didn't know that was his style yet, so I thought he's going to drop. But yeah, he did everything but drop. And then in the second stage he won, he was already doing the same thing, 8 kilometers from the finish, suffering like crazy. But this time, yeah, I knew that was his style, so I had the feeling like
Yeah.
this isn't over. But yeah, like his first stage win, that was very nice, of course, and amazing. But that second stage win against Sivakov, okay, Sivakov was pulling for a long time, but Vlasov was also in the wheel for the whole stage there. And
Beating Vlasov is
yeah,
no slouch, is it? Let's be honest as well.
yeah,
Yeah. And
Vlasov really
and
wasn't
now
that bad or something. Eh?
exactly, and now the vultures of the World Tour are lurking around him, aren't they? But
Yeah,
I think it's going to be Ineos. I think
yeah.
is it
Ineos was interested before the Vuelta already. Yeah, which is not crazy because just take a look through his pro cycling stats. He has done a lot of crazy stuff before the Vuelta already.
Mm, yeah.
But now, yeah, he hadn't signed anything. Yeah, that's or yeah, that's what they report. So I really hope that's the case for him because now he can go about anywhere, I think, and this the price for him is raised a lot. So I hope he makes a wise choice for a good career.
Where do you think the wisest choice for him would be?
I like Ineos, to be honest. The
I
first team
think
that was interested, because I still think they are a high level performance team. Like they have good performance managers and everything, but they maybe don't have
the type of rider like
the
that, right?
the most broad climbing team at the moment.
Yeah,
So I think you can have a lot of chances at Ineos as not the top guy, while it's still a very nice team performance wise. So if I was Castrillo, that would maybe be my team to go to.
and let's now move on to the other victor for Kern Farmer with Barade. And very, very happy for him, aren't you? Especially because you also won a bet with him as well, I think, as well, didn't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. Already in the first stage where he was gone with oh, he was gone with two riders to the stage. Like my dementia's kicking in, so I don't remember the other two riders. But I already had bet him in there, and then again on the stage he won. So yeah, that's amazing. Like the level he showed in Burgos right before the Vuelta. Um, yeah, that's and also for my fantasy team, like he was the most cheap in the range of the most cheap riders out there. To win a stage with a guy like that, yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was very, very impressive. But yeah, now let's also go on again to some even more impressive things. I'd say I'd call them the comeback of GC riders, really. And one particularly, the Frenchman David Gaudu. And what do you think of there? Because it's positive at least because in the tour he was poof. He was completely dead, wasn't he? Let's be honest, inside.
Yeah,
Apart from some breakaways.
he's always been a ridiculous talent. But he had a lot of shit to endure the last
Yeah.
1.5 years. I still remember that Paris-Nice last year, where it was matching the level of Pogacar and
Coach,
Vingegaard. Of
yeah.
course, they weren't peaking there, but still, it says a lot to ride on that level with those guys. So to see him back now, it's pretty amazing to see. And let's hope he can get that level right through at 2025.
Yeah, we hope to see a Frenchman do well in the tour, don't we? But yeah, Carapaz as well. Carapaz is always there and thereabouts, isn't he, as well? Very impressed again. Are you?
Yeah, and also one of my favorite riders, I think, the Grintai shows his will to attack everywhere. Doesn't matter whether it's 15 kilometers to go or 200 kilometers to go, he attacks. So it's like Marc Soler, amazing rider too.
Yeah, it's just Fuego to the Fuego, isn't it? Just balls to the wall and just say, yep, I'm going to attack. But yeah,
Exactly.
let's now another comeback as well. We want to talk about very quickly is Jay Vine winning the KOM jersey, especially our after all he's been through in the last year, and also when he was in the Vuelta, and I think it was, what year was it, 22 or 21? When he was out
22, yeah.
holding the KOM jersey in a horrific crash, didn't he? Really, then as well.
Was just
When
literally
he was,
a gap in his arm there. Like that was
yeah,
a very
uh,
bad cut.
yeah,
So yeah, now that's the best revenge he can get, both for that crash he had in Basque Country and for the lost KOM jersey in 2022. Uh, Amazing.
very amazing as well. Yeah, I remember that crash particularly because the amount of blood from him was flipping insane, wasn't it?
And I remember that crash pretty well too because I also had a bet on him then back then. So that's going to
So
haunt me for the rest of my life.
it's crazy as well, isn't it? Really, though, as well. Them to come back and perform at this level after basically nearly being paralyzed, really, as well.
Yeah, there was a moment there where they thought he was going to die. So that's crazy. It's now, I think, about 5 months ago.
5 months,
Basque
yeah.
Country is beginning of April. So yeah,
How
ridiculous.
is that even possible? I don't know, but kudos to him and massive respect to him as well. And I think
Yeah,
the future for Jay Vine is very bright. Would you say?
yeah. I think talent-wise, he's one of the biggest talents in the whole peloton. Like there are no handful of riders who can replicate what he has done this year after his cross after his crash in the best country. Like you can laugh at him because he crashes a lot and blah blah blah.
Mm.
But also the not only the comeback he made, but also the level of descending he showed this Vuelta. He has been descending really good, better than ever, clearly, and not with a small difference. He has one descent where he was with Wout in the break, he was following Wout in the descent, and they rode away with three, him, Wout, and another rider, I don't remember who. Like if you compare him with Marc Soler, he was also involved in that Basque Country crash. He avoided it, but it seems like he has a lot of fear in him after that crash. But Jay Vine
Mm.
doesn't. He descends better than before that crash. So that's crazy.
Yeah, mentally as well. To overcome the hurdle of being in the KOM jersey and not be able
Yeah.
to win it. It's a massive stepping stone for him, I think, as well.
Yeah.
And now let's go on to your most impressive rider of the Vuelta, who's not like a big name, would you say?
Hmm. Uh, Maybe to pick
Three, I'd
it's
say.
a more low key rider then.
Yeah.
I instantly think about Filippo Baroncini in the time trial, the last stage. That's one of my favorite riders, I think. I like riders who have a lot of untapped potential, and Baroncini is definitely one of them. Since he went pro in 2022, I think, with Trek back then, he has crashed every classic season, with the consequence that he couldn't show himself in the classic season, but he's a pure classics rider, in my opinion. So this was his first Grand Tour, and then the last stage, in the third week, he does something of that level. I think this Grand Tour is going to give him a big step up for the classic season next year. So I would keep an eye on him from Omloop until Roubaix, maybe even Amstel Gold Race.
So he's going to be on the Dieter's list, is it?
Yeah, he's already on it.
Already on it. But yeah, do you, we won't really say most impressive team or like underrated team, because I think we're both probably going to say Kern Farmer on with it for that, I'd say. Even
Yeah, if you say bang for buck, it's Gerrit Parma is leading that classification with a big lead.
by a mile, I'd say. And also, Red Bull did do very well, I think, as well.
Yeah, definitely.
As
Also,
that,
yeah, if you look at Lipowitz, before the Vuelta, you would say he is the fourth best GC rider in that team, and he finishes seventh or eighth in the Vuelta, second best for Bora, while also domestiquing for Roglic on the final climb sometimes, not on the flat, of course, to also um, not spend too much energy when it's necessary. So that's also a crazy performance from him for his
yeah,
first Grand Tour. Yeah, second Grand Tour after the Giro, but he crashed in got sick in like stage 4 or 5, so that doesn't count, to be honest.
Yeah. And that's also, we've got to mention also the white jersey as well, Skelmos. I think that's also another very, very impressive result for Skelmos, really.
Very, yeah.
Finishing fifth as well.
He was suffering big time in the heat in week one, but
Mhm.
when that heat was gone, and from the beginning of week two, when they went more north, yeah, he started doing performances almost on the level of Maz and Roglic. Like that one stage, I think that was the second stage that Castillo won. He finished very closely behind Maz and Roglic.
Yeah.
So yeah, clearly the best level he's ever been at with a big margin. So this is really something to build further on. But I would suggest to maybe look out for the Giro d'Italia next year, because that's a bit more cold there, because he really doesn't handle the heat well. So Tour de France and Vuelta is always
Be
going
a
to
bit of
be
a
tough for
mm.
someone that can't handle heat.
Lipovitz as well was closely behind in the battle for the youth jersey as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, and Carlos Rodriguez too until the second to last stage.
Yeah, Lipovitz. I think, in my opinion, if I was Red Bull Bora, I'd go and play all my cards on Lipovitz. In my opinion,
Yeah,
I think
I would.
that's the best available option. I think.
Yeah, like let him develop next to the side of Primoz Roglic, and when he's gone, and like yeah, I don't think Roglic is going to ride more than 3 years from
Yeah,
now on. So now let him develop and make him the main man when Roglic is retiring.
there's no better really. German sponsors, German rider. That's what you want, really, isn't it? As well. But
Yeah,
yeah, then
yeah,
do you see the rumors on social media and X of people saying Jona Wider to Red Bull Bora, which is actually strong credibility, isn't it? I think as well.
yeah, yeah, true. And also Remco Evenepoel. Apparently, there's
And
also
Remco, yeah.
some talks there. Um, if I have to guess, there, I don't think he's going to Red Bull, but I do really think that there are talks. So yeah, it's like Bora has so much money now with Red Bull. They're just buying every good rider they can get their hands on. That's yeah, clearly what they're doing. But yeah, let's hope they can also build a team with throwing all those riders together, because that's also important.
And money talks in this world, doesn't it, as well? But yeah, I think that's the wrap for the Vuelta. And let's briefly move on to some races, other races. And in particular, let's talk about where the double Olympic champion Remco Evenepoel went to last week with the Tour of Britain. I know your boy Paul Magnier was very, very impressive getting a hat trick. Was there anyone
Yeah.
else that impressed you from that Tour of Britain?
Well, first of all, about Paul Meunier, he crashed really bad in the last stage and got a severe concussion there. So that's a pity. He's probably not
Mm.
going to make the European, yeah, or probably not. He's definitely not going to make it with a severe concussion. The European Championships under 23. Yeah, I wanted him to ride the elites even, because if you see him sprint and the numbers he's doing, he really would have a chance at elite level. But yeah, now with the concussion, let's just hope he recovers well, because a concussion can be really, really dangerous.
Yeah, dangerous. And make sure, you always have to make sure, don't you? Even if you don't feel it, you have to make sure and take the time out. But yeah, the Tour of
Yeah,
Britain, I was there for the Derby to Newark-on-Trent stage. I was roadside. It was a lovely experience. And I'm sure many other people have seen it online as well. It was a great race, I'll be honest, a great race. I got to see Jonas Abrahamsen race, my one of my favorite riders. So
yeah,
yeah, it's a great
yeah.
experience. And then me and you have both got some roadside experience coming up this week with the European Championships.
True.
Let's just
Um,
briefly talk about the European Championships, starting off with the men's elite time trial.
yeah, that's, to be honest, outside of Stefan Kung and Stefan Bissegger, the two Stefans, the field is not
It's been,
all that good. Uh, So yeah, and then also with Belgium, Yves Lampaert not being able to go there because he's sick, and the replacement is Victor Vercouy. With all due respect for him, but if he has to do the TT for Belgium, in the race in Belgium itself, in the home race. Yeah, it's not looking too bright.
No, it's not looking too bright there. Well, who do you think would win that? I'd say Kung, obviously, after his first ever Grand Tour win, stage win.
Yeah, that the level he showed in the final time trial was ridiculous. But also Stefan Bissiger, a rider I also really like, but he's so inconsistent. One day he can beat the very best. He beat Wout, Ganna, Darling in the past. You never know what to expect of him. So yeah, it's going to be one of the Stefans, I think, but which one? Yeah, that
Yeah, but
remains to be seen.
about who? Oh, yeah, then we move on to the weekend where we have both the women and men's elite road race in Limburg. And I think those two races are going to be very, very, very interesting, aren't they? I'd say as well.
Yeah, because the parkour is not too tough, but also definitely not easy. Like with a rider like Mathieu van der Poel there, if
He just
he
goes ball,
attacks
yeah,
with
just
full
goes
force, and
woof.
he has some strong riders with him who don't have a sprinter in their country, so they can ride. Yeah, that's going to be dangerous. So let's hope it's not just a sprinters festival, and that there's going to be some true racing.
With Belgium, they did have about 10 sprinters in the team, didn't they? Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's a crazy team. But yeah, do you think there's anyone who could fly under the radar in that race?
Oh, there's the road race is a pretty strong team, to be honest. Like with also Denmark, you have guys like Søren Kranissen, Asgreen Pedersen. They are not going to ride for a sprint; they're going to attack.
Exactly.
So yeah, together with Van der Poel, yeah, Belgium is fully going for a sprint. But let's hope they find some countries who yeah want to ride for a sprint. But if everything goes right for Milan and he's in the position at the end, I don't see anyone beating him. He's just fastest guy
Complete
out there.
brilliant, isn't he? It's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy.
Also in the BIM Cycle Classic, he didn't win it, but at the end when he could open up for like 5 seconds, you just saw that he was sprinting 10 kilometers faster than everyone else. Like he relaunched so quickly there. He's just and that was against Philipsen and Meus, etc. Like guys who won the Champs Elysees stage, and he's just making them look pretty ridiculous. Yeah, crazy.
Crazy, crazy, crazy. But that's all we have time for on this episode of the Domestique Cycling Podcast. Thanks again for for joining me today, and thanks again for our audience for tuning in. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to us, as it means a lot and it would help support our channel. Thank you all for watching, and goodbye.
Bye.
Got the spots, the sickness. There's the twins in my brain.